So when it comes to investment, we are actually investing in different shapes and forms. So it could be stocks, it could be mutual funds. You are maybe invested in cryptocurrency, in FD, or you invest in real estate or gold. Could be anything. I'm not saying you are. I'm not putting pressure on you that you should go out and invest. That's a whole another thing altogether. We're not talking about that, but just to get an understanding, when it comes to investment, there are different forms and shapes of investment. Similarly, when we take the same concept back to creative investment, there are also a lot of things which we actively do or we get exposed passively, which are kind of investment, because when it comes to giving back or when it comes to return on investment, all the kind of investment which you made in creatively will impact your output in a certain way. And that's what we're going to explore in today's episode. We're going to talk about your creative investment. Let's go.
Your afternoon caffeine with Daily's Pod is here. A creative podcast to refuel your day. Presenting your host, Suyog, also known as the Fun Indian Guy.
So imagine yourself as a sponge, okay? And whatever life experience you go through, whatever learnings you get, whatever things you consume, whatever resources you go through, whatever education you had, whatever interactions you had with your friends, all of those things are kind of things which are getting soaked by that sponge throughout your life. And it's an ongoing, continuous process. And when it comes to creating something, when it comes to working on certain project, you kind of squeeze that sponge and few droplets come out as output for that particular project. Now, if you take those droplets and try to understand where those came from or where they were originated, it's going to be very difficult because it's going to be a mixture of all these things you have been exposed to till that point. So it's anyway the result of the whole chemical reaction, or let's say chemical process which went through in your life. That being said, in order to get a good mixture out, in order to get a good output out, in order to do a project in a much better sense, whatever we soak in should also be of certain quality. We should be mindful about what is going in, so that whenever you are creating something and you are directly or indirectly being influenced by all the things you have been soaking, your good influences will play a big role in that, resulting in a better output. And these good things which you soak are good investments. So that is one part we have to pay attention to. So if you do bad investment in consuming random stuff, which I do, and I'm also guilty of consuming reels over and over again, and yeah, that's a whole different mental battle altogether. But if you invest in good investments where you are maybe reading a book which lets you think about different things, which broadens your perspective. Maybe you're just sitting at your window sipping coffee and just thinking about different things, or maybe overthinking about different things. But even that particular activity is pushing yourself and you are actually in the mental creative mode. That is much better than bad investments, which could be reels or watching random stuff over and over again, one after another, which doesn't make much sense. So that is one part of investment. And as I said, in order to get a better mixture out, or in order to get a better output, we must pay attention to what we are consuming. That again brings our attention back to the mindfulness, because we should be able to filter things out and actively seek for good things, so that whatever we have or whatever wealth we generate creatively in our head is of good quality per se. That is one side of the story. This other side of the story is, so I was lucky to be able to be at amazing innovation labs across the world and do innovation projects with people across the globe with some super duper amazing brands. And I was doing a lot of different innovation design workshops for them, so they can build products and services very quickly, efficiently, and on point, which is more meaningful, more human-centered. While I was doing that, I always thought, why can't I make this available for you guys, for your project, for your entrepreneurial journey, for your product and service, or to build your own agency? Why can't I support you with that same methodology which I've been offering to these other people? And out of that urge, we created Futuring Now Lab, and one of our trending workshops, which is 6 days idea quick start workshop, is right now available for you guys at a discounted price, because you have been a wonderful listener or a viewer of Daily Ishpod or the Fun Indian Guy channel. So at the checkout, use the code OFFDAILYISHPOD, which is of Daily Ishpod. You have the code right down in the description. You can just copy and paste. So make sure you take advantage of this particular discount as well as the workshop. And we will be waiting for you to start this amazing audio-visual innovation workshop for 6 sessions. So we'll see you there. And with that said, let's get back to our episode. Thank you. That is one side of the story. This other side of the story is, if you find yourself sitting at the window, drink your coffee, looking outside, do not be hard on yourself. We need to also change the approach. If you're reading a book and if you're imagining new things, we have to look at that in a better sense. Look at that as a productive thing and not really a waste of time. If you're watching a good documentary or a good interview, you have to go into it with a better mindset. Because, as I said, if the investment is good and if it soaks in well, it's gonna give you better results. Because basically, you're kind of creating a portfolio for yourself. And it's always good to have good investments in there so that in future you'll get better yields or better results. That's all the whole point about today's topic. This was also kind of a next discussion which on the topic which we have already discussed in the podcast, which was about creative compounding or creation is compounding. So yeah, just trying to get the same analogy here and trying to make sense of what we do or what I do, and kind of making peace with it and sharing it with you was the goal of today's episode. So yeah, that's all pretty much from today's episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for listening.
If you like what we do, then make sure to follow Dailyish Pod wherever you listen to podcasts, as well as on Instagram. For more visual experience, do subscribe to the Fun Indian Guy YouTube channel. Until next time, have fun.